Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Daily Dungeon Diving. I have gone ahead and resupplied on weapons and armor, as you can see here. Stuffed everything that I could grab into this chest over here. And we're actually going to head this way, because I completely forgot that there was a room up here that I never even bothered to open. So I want to see what we can find this way. Seems pretty lightly guarded, so I kind of doubt this is the proper path. So yeah, there's potentially a chest back here, hopefully. Actually, there's something I do want to go over in a bit. Just want to make sure I clear out all the enemies and see if there's any loot here before I go into it. Because otherwise, I will screw it up. Ooh, plague spawn. Plague spawn. You nasty, man. You nasty. But I don't have a good kiting spot for you, so screw it, we're taking the hits anyway. Oh, it worked out better than I probably deserved to have it work out. Smack you. Run away, deal with the possessed. Possessed dropped me some rope. Nothing from the leper soldier, unfortunately, but oh well. Boop and boop. Alright, and let's see what this chest has in store for us. Nothing amazing, unfortunately, but that's okay. So anyways, what I kind of wanted to go into was one of the comments that I recently got pertained to a video that JCF recently did about dungeons, and he asked me specifically what I thought of JCF's recommended setup of, like, I think it was pretty much like full tier 2 armor for everything, and only using better armor for the Forsaken and the Desecrators, I think? I don't remember exactly what it was. And basically, I mean, oh yes, and also we completely forgot about this chest, so I'll see what's here. Basically, I told him, you know, I find that using a set of armor, wow, another weapon oil. That's 3 weapon oil plus probably another 1 in the Forsaken chest. So that's 4 weapon oil most likely in this entire run. That's pretty good. But I basically said, you know, I find any armor that uses leather, copper, or bronze, which is tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 armor, using that against the weaker enemies, the soldiers, the plague spawns, and the possessed here, I honestly feel like it's a waste to use it on them. They don't do enough damage to really warrant that much armor. They're just not that big of a threat. Which is why I use tier 1 armor. But he did mention, you know, well, it would save you time of constantly having to switch to different armor when you have to fight Desecrators and such. And yeah, he makes a good point. It would save me time, certainly. But I mean, I don't. Dungeons take a lot out of you, resource-wise, and holy crap, that's a terrible room. do this. I guess I'm not gonna do another video where I'm gonna reset all of the enemies. That would just be a little ridiculous. But I am gonna have to be very careful about how I approach this. Okay, you're dead. So the main threat is gone. That discredit or that one. How much armor? You know what? He's only at like half HP, so I'm gonna finish him off with a flanged mace. Wasn't tremendously efficient, but it got the job done nonetheless. Oh, and then there's a leprous soldier who just happens to be following me still. Okay. Well, friendo, you can get kited around a tombstone because I ain't wasting no food or armor on you. No, sir. But you know, his methods, JCF's methods, are different from my own. However, I still have tremendous respect for JCF. In my opinion, JCF is the only quote-unquote big YouTuber that I would actually ever go to in terms of trying to get information and strategies to, you know, do stuff in the game. Like, some of the other guys, I really feel like they depend very heavily on the stuff that they get from developers or just from, you know, putting a whole bunch of money into the game so that they don't have to grind. And as a result, they don't, because they're not grinding as much as normal players are, they kind of don't develop the same skill level as a normal player would. Whereas JCF, he most certainly has, you know, a reasonable skill level, at least, you know, more so when he's not recording. Any Let's Player or whatever can tell you that when you're recording, all manner of things break down and don't go as planned. That's just kind of the recorder's curse. We have to deal with things going awry. And that's a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, we're concentrating on our commentary about what we're saying, how we want to explain things, and not as much on just playing the actual game. You'd be surprised how much just the simple action of talking to your audience can just absolutely destroy your concentration. Oh, snap, that is a Forsaken, and I have, like, no armor left to deal with him. So, we gonna retreat. Oh, yes, we are gonna retreat. But yeah, he has different methods to my own, but nonetheless, I have a great deal of respect for JCF. I think he does a fantastic job of informing all the various communities that he plays games for. And I feel that, you know, he is probably the most important person to the community that isn't a developer. In my opinion, he is, you know, I guess not what I would strive to be for the Grimsoul community, but he's definitely a person that I look up to, whereas everybody else, they're just kind of in it for entertainment value. They're not necessarily trying to inform, they're more going for entertainment and just showing you stuff that happens, I guess. But he kind of recommends using things that I don't recommend. Specifically, I think more recently he made a video on the most efficient way to get weapons, or efficacious, as he says. They basically mean the same thing. But he made that video, and he kind of mentions doing tier 3 runs to get the items that you need to make weapons, mainly wire and such. And he mentions using a bastard sword on knights, which is something that I do not recommend. I think using a bastard sword on a knight is an absolute waste of a bastard sword. And that's just because you don't need that strong of a weapon to deal with a knight. I mean, yeah, if you don't use a weapon that strong, then you're going to end up using a lot more food than you would otherwise, but... Oh, crap, I didn't even realize that plague spawn was there already. Yeah, you're going to end up using a lot more food, but it's like, food isn't that hard to grind up. And I know JCF knows this, because he has plenty of food. So, it's like, I don't know why he's saying that. I don't know why he's... I mean, there's a reason why everybody is like, how do I get weapons? Because weapons are one of the hardest things to really grind up in the game, because you're constantly using them, or feeling that you need to use them, on a lot of different enemies. And food is just like, once you learn to farm efficiently, and you just put a bunch of time into grinding in the game, food is just something that you accumulate over a long period of time. Like, I have chests and chests and chests full of food back home. I have a whole chest full of honey. I have a chest full of berry juice. I have like 3 chests full of jerky, 2 or 3 chests full of leeks, fried leeks. I mean, I have chests and chests of food. So food is not an issue for me. Like, I can keep doing dungeons like this every day, all day, and I would never run out of food. It's just not something I'm concerned with. However, weapons and armor most definitely are things that I am concerned with, because I don't have chests upon chests upon chests of them. I used to until the dungeon came out. Until the dungeon came out, I had all kinds of weapons and armor and stuff stockpiled, but yeah, I've since started to use those stockpiles. So, obviously, not anymore. But yeah, it's just like, I personally value weapons over food quite a bit. That's just how I place my value on things. So I orient all of my strategies mostly based on trying to conserve weapon usage as opposed to food. Obviously, I'm trying to be efficient with both, but you kind of have to prioritize sooner or later. You have to prioritize one or the other. And for me, I most certainly prioritize conserving weapons as opposed to food. And even to an extent, I would say I prioritize armor conservation over food, which is why I've been using tier 1 armor in most of my dungeon runs, as opposed to just constantly using tier 3 all the time. Okay, nothing in there. But yeah, I mean, you know, feel free to follow JCF's advice. It's not bad advice. It's just, in my opinion, it's not always the best. Usually it's spot on. Usually I would say anything that JCF told you guys is spot on. Like, definitely it would be something I would recommend, you know, following. And if any of you guys haven't checked out JCF's channel, I would honestly highly recommend that you do. He has a lot of information there that is very useful. A lot of Last Day on Earth videos for the most part, which might turn off some people, but he is starting to churn out Grimsoul videos that are more specifically tailored to the strategies and things that you need to know for Grimsoul. Granted, most of the information he has obtained and put out there on his channel for Last Day on Earth still applies to Grimsoul, as they are very similar games. But, you know, if you've just been not wanting to really think about all of the stuff that, you know, might be similar, but might not be completely similar, you know, now is probably the time to start checking out his channel, because he is making content specifically for Grimsoul Survival now. But yeah, it's just, you know, he has his methods, I have my own, and, you know, you can do whatever you want. My guides and such are literally just meant to be, you know, this is how you can do this. It's not meant to be any kind of absolute, you know, you should do it this way, and if you don't do it this way, I am going to call you an idiot. That is absolutely not the case. It's just, you know, more than anything, it's helping people who have no idea how they should go about doing something. And I give you an idea on how to do something. It's not the only way it can be done. It may not completely be the best way to do things, but I will say that I strive always to make sure that at the very least it's a good way of going about things. I wouldn't make a video about it or put it in a video if it isn't at least a reasonably good strategy. Once again, I'm gonna find myself having to fight a Forsaken, which makes me sad. I almost got myself cornered. That would have been pretty darn bad. But, yeah. So yeah, if I haven't said it enough already, go ahead and check out JCF's channel, guys, because it has some awesome stuff on there. Plenty of knowledge to be acquired there. He just threw his sword at me, apparently. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting strat, Forsaken. Alright, what do we have here? A couple of leper soldiers, I'm assuming. Yes, and one of them is pretty darn injured, so I can take him pretty effectively. Really? Break right there. That's kind of annoying. Actually, you know what? No. I got that one, which is slightly busted up already. Excellent. Okie dokie. And now we can go ahead and move on. Haven't even opened that other path because I've been so busy dealing with this one. But I'm pretty sure that might be the way to the final room. I'm pretty sure this is the correct... That is the correct path, with all the Forsaken and Desecrators and crap that are right that way. Or maybe not. I don't know. That room is pretty heavily defended still. That is definitely a very heavily defended room, so I don't know. Alright, Mr. Plague spawn. I guess I can try and kite him around this. It's probably going to be very unsuccessful, but... I managed to take him out and only get one hit, so... That's at least reasonably successful. Right, so what do we have in here? A pair of leper soldiers, I take it. Which, given my time constraints, I'm not too fussed about kiting them, to be perfectly honest. Far from efficient, but whatever, it gets the job done. Alrighty, and then we just have whatever this guy is left to deal with. Hopefully he's just a leper soldier. Yes, very nice. Boop and boop. And then I kind of want to see what's in here. A lot of enemies protecting a chest. Okay, well, let's see what this chest has for us first. And video's about 20 minutes long, so I'll probably go ahead and clear out that room and then call it a video. Wow, okay. Wow. So I've gotten, like, every one of these chests thus far, almost, has had either a weapon oil or a mechanism in it. That is pretty darn lucky, to be perfectly honest. I didn't honestly expect to be getting all of this stuff so easily. Possessed. That's not particularly fun, but oh well. Deal with it. Yeah, my armor's looking a little busted up, but I will deal. Sweet. I actually managed to buy some time there, and then I managed to fudge up all of that. By there we go. That's all I wanted to accomplish. And then we'll bring the Plague Spawn back in here. I'll kite him around this tombstone. Very nice. And I highly doubt I can get a sneak attack off. Oh no, I can probably get a sneak attack off here. Sweet. Alright, so what did that possess drop? Nothing of importance, not that they ever do, but you know. We'll check out what's in this chest, and then I will call this an episode here. Okay, I got some bandages, so that's, you know, not bad. I'll go ahead and use one real quick just to heal up. So, yeah, this has been, I guess, productive for an episode. We've gone down quite a bit of the dungeon path, and I believe we will be shortly at the final dungeon room. So, until next time, guys, I will see you later, and take care.